when we talk about budgeting, what it does is that it is not telling you you can't buy this, you can buy your coffee, you can do this. No, it is actually a tool that says buy your coffee, eat this, go out for the dinner, and do it guilt free. If you live in Canada and you feel like your paycheck disappears the very moment it hits your account, well, this video is for you. Budgeting in Canada isn't about using fancy spreadsheets or cutting out on your most cherished morning routine of drinking coffee. It is about knowing where your money comes in from. It is about understanding where your money is going and how to take control of it without feeling restricted. Today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you practical strategies that actually work in Canada. And at the end, I'm going to be walking you through a live practical budgeting example so that you can know how to do this for yourself. Now, let's discuss the elephant in the room. Why is budgeting so hard, especially when you live in Canada? We understand that living in Canada can be very expensive. You need to pay the rent, you need to pay the groceries, you need to pay for the utilities, the phone bill, the car insurance, and rising costs are just everywhere. And that is why it's easy to feel like, okay, budgeting doesn't even really matter. But budgeting is really not about having more money. It is about using what you have intentionally. Now, let's talk about some of the tips you need to start incorporating in your budgeting to actually make budgeting your ally and a system that works to empower your money. The number one tip is budgeting on your net pay, not your gross pay. A lot of people budget the amounts that will come into their account when taxes and other deductions haven't been removed. And that is the number one mistake. It is important that whatever money comes into your account will be what you're budgeting for. So you can see from your payslip that you're supposed to get $4,000. But after the tax, federal tax and provincial tax, your liability, medical bill and all that, you may end up with $2,500, let's say. But then if you're budgeting with 4,000, you feel like, oh my goodness, I don't have the money. And that is why whatever comes into your account is what you ought to use to budget. That's because if your budget doesn't match your money, it will never work. Second thing I highly recommend is to separate your spending account from your billing account. This tip alone can completely change your financial life. I recommend one account for your bills where you have the fixed payment of rent, of phone bills, of car insurance, fixed monthly payment goes out from, and the money that is left will be for daily spending, which comes under the second account being your spending account. Why is this important? You stop spending money accidentally, and there'll be no more at the end of the month panic. The clarity actually brings a sense of control financially. The second question we need to ask yourself is, how much do I need to be spending monthly? It is imperative to know that there is no perfect budget. It is only a balanced budget. My expenses in a month could be chicken change or just a dime for other people. Or what I spend in a month could be, oh my goodness, this is luxury, this is outrageous. And that is why you need to balance your budget based on your income and most importantly, your lifestyle. A simple guide you can actually allocate for your needs. It may take up to 50 to 60% of your income, and this is where the rent, the bills and the grocery fall under. Then you can allocate for the savings and for the investment about 20 to 30% of your income. And then when it comes to eating out, fun trip, memories and all that, which is the spending, you can actually allocate 10 to 20%. I have to say, this is a starting point. It is not a rule. You can adjust it to fit your financial status and your lifestyle. Tip number 3 when you're doing this budgeting is to pay yourself first. This is you saying, I respect myself enough to invest in my future, to invest in my next 5 years, next 10 years, and most importantly, make my money to work for me. And this is what you do during your payday. This is what you do all the time in your payday routine. It could be you putting it in high interest savings account for your emergency fund, or using the Wealth Simple to put it on the TFSA so that the money grows for you tax-free. This could be as little as $25, $50, $100. The most important thing is that you're being consistent. The other tip when it comes to this budgeting is to use the right accounts. The right account can actually be your ally or a ruthless for when it comes to living in Canada. And in my previous videos, I talked about the right accounts for you to use. But yes, where you store your money in Canada matters a lot, because the system, the government has actually given you a tool to help your money work for you. And if you're not taking advantage of that, you are going to be paying a lot of money on taxes. Budgeting isn't just about tracking, it is about strategically placing your money so that it does the harder work for you. At this stage, you may be asking, Rosalind, do I need a budgeting app? Not necessarily. I have been using my manual tracker. If you want to use the budgeting app, by all means go ahead. If you use Tangerine, there's actually a section for you to do the budgeting. If you want to download the actual budgeting app, the budgeting tracker template I use, I'm going to leave that in the comment section. It is important that as you do this budgeting, budget for real life. Budgeting doesn't mean that you should be so strict that you don't enjoy the life. Girl, this is the life you're living. So by all means, budget for fun, budget for makeup, budget for eating out. Budgeting actually helps you to enjoy that guilt-free. And that's because if budgeting feels so restrictive, it's no longer a tool that works as an ally for you. It is now a tool that you want to avoid. And that is not what budgeting is about. It is a tool that helps you to make your money work for you and to enjoy your life guilt-free. Most of my videos I've been doing recently, I have been talking about the mindset shift, because this is where liberation and victory comes, or where people actually get into prison. When we talk about budgeting, what it does is that it is not telling you you can't buy this, you can buy your coffee, you can do this. No, it is actually a tool that says buy your coffee, eat this, go out for the dinner, and do it guilt-free. And that's the essence of budgeting. Now that you understand the principle behind all these things, let's make it more practical, where I show you a realistic life budgeting example step to step. This is because I want you to follow along and be able to download the exact budgeting template I use and be able to do this at home for yourself. Okay, so here is the rough monthly planner. Here we say we're going to live on one income alone, even if we have two people in the family earning. And we have the zero budgeting method as a budgeting method, and this is for January 2026, right? For, like I said, my income is already established, tithe is out. We have the 3,800, and I also wrote out on this day we're going to be having square one. That's our car insurance taking money of $185. We have the mobile internet. That's January 18th. They're going to be taking their money, and that's 2 times. So my husband and I, that will amount to $90.40, right? So we have the home internet provided by Rogers, that's $84. And then we have the home utility, and they will be deducting their money on the 15th day, which is January 15th, and $107.99 will be out. I actually did not add the rent because that's the biggest expense. I just wanted to calculate all the ones, and it amounted to $467.39. But when I added the rent of $2,300, it amounted to $2,767. Now, come what may, I need to save at least $200, right, from all my expenses. We have the fixed expenses that they are non-negotiable. We have to pay for it. And then some of the bills that are still non-negotiable, I just added grocery. So we're going to be shopping 4 times in a month, right? And $200 per trip. And then for the petrol, paying for the gas twice every 2 weeks for $60 each time, which amounted to $120. So after everything, we just calculated all the expenses combined with the income, and so it amounted to $3,687. So yes, if you found this video helpful, please do me a favor by clicking on the like button, leave your comments, subscribe, tell other people about this channel. And if you enjoyed watching this video, I'm pretty sure you're going to enjoy this video or this one here. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I'm going to see you all in my next video. Bye for now.